Welcome you all for this video on determining COP from pH charts in VCR cycles. See, this is the typical pressure enthalpy chart that we have already discussed in our previous video. So, wherein we have the vapor dome, this is saturated liquid line, this is saturated vapor line, this is a critical point, and again we have subcooled region, liquid region, then this is superheated vapor region. So, wherein we have for various lines, these are the constant volume lines, these are the constant volume lines, these are the constant volume lines. Then we have constant temperature lines, constant temperature line, it is a continuous line, constant temperature lines, these are constant temperature lines, runs in this way, these are constant temperature lines on this diagram. This is the nature how the constant temperature lines exists on this chart. And again constant entropy lines, these are constant entropy lines, we have to remember. Next we have this is the chart which contains all the details, just pause it, and here we have same explanation. Constant dryness fraction lines are visible on this, and this is the constant temperature pressure line, constant temperature line, these are also constant temperature lines, and this is here the constant entropy lines available on the pH chart. Here for any process, that is we have seen in refrigeration cycle, we have evaporation process, then again isentropic compression process, then condensation process, then again throttling process. Any process that we can represent on this pH chart for a particular refrigerant available in market. For example, for Freon we have a separate pH chart, Freon 12, Freon 22. For ammonia refrigerant we have a separate chart. So on, we get different charts. We can represent the processes on such charts. For any process, out of 4 processes, the difference between 2 points gives enthalpy change. For example, if I want to indicate the compression process, that is if this is state 1 and this is state 2, this will give me H2 here, and this will give me H1. The difference of H2 and H1 will give you the change in the enthalpy during that process. And the points should be carefully marked on the available pH chart as per the conditions mentioned in the problem statements. Okay, so that we have to be very careful about this point. So now pH chart on ammonia, let us see. This is the typical pH chart is available for our use from the refrigerant charts. So wherein we can identify this is saturated liquid line, this is saturated vapor line. We have constant temperature lines, these are the constant temperature lines, just observe here. So we have a 10 degree Celsius line, constant temperature line, and again we have 0 degree Celsius temperature line, then we have minus 20 degree Celsius temperature line, and we have 40 degree Celsius temperature line. So this is how it moves. Then again we have next line is 50 degree Celsius, then 60 degree Celsius, 70 degree Celsius constant temperature lines are available. And again similarly we have constant entropy lines, these are the constant entropy lines. We have various parameters. Then again we have constant dryness fraction lines, these are constant dryness fraction lines in the vapor dome. Always dryness fraction lines are available in vapor dome region only. And we can read enthalpy values on x-axis, pressure values on y-axis. So now we have another pH chart for different refrigerant shown on the screen. So this is for refrigerant 22. This is the refrigerant 22 mentioned on your screen here. That is refrigerant 22. You can say Freon 22, wherein we have the vapor dome This is saturated liquid line, saturated vapor line. So we have constant dryness fraction lines. So these are the constant entropy lines available. This is one more chart. Then again we have one more pH chart for refrigerant 12, refrigerant 12 it is, Freon 12, wherein we have again the saturated liquid line, saturated vapor line, and constant dryness fraction lines here. Then constant entropy lines are available. So we can refer all these charts. Then we have one more refrigerant chart, that is for refrigerant 744, or you can say carbon dioxide, CO2, and the explanation remains same: saturated liquid line, saturated vapor line, constant entropy lines. And again we have the refrigeration chart for the refrigerant R134A, which is mentioned here. This is R134A refrigerant. So wherein we have the saturated liquid line, then this is saturated vapor line. These are constant dryness fraction lines available, constant volume lines are also available, and these are constant entropy lines. So then we have one more refrigerant chart, that is for Freon 22 or refrigerant 22. So depending upon the type of refrigerant and properties, we have different charts with us. Now see, in the process of design purposes, that is designing of refrigerators, we use always pH charts. pH charts are always used for and it gives directly the enthalpy values for a particular refrigerant at inlet of compressor, exit of compressor, then condenser outlet and throttle valve outlet, whatever devices are there at their outlet, it will give directly all the enthalpy values. Then again the cycle points we can directly mark on the pH chart and get the values for the corresponding enthalpy values. See here, this makes our calculations, design calculations, very easy, so that we are able to get the enthalpy values directly. This makes all calculations more easy than the calculations using temperature entropy chart. We have seen numerical solving on using TS charts already, so it's a little mathematical oriented solution. So it was a time consuming job for us. So now you can simplify that job by solving the problems using pH chart. Now all possible conditions in the cycle they are marked on the, with the problem statements, in line with the problem statements that are mentioned in the problem. Then it is all the points, that is state 1, 2, 3, 4, all the state points are marked on the pH chart to get enthalpy values. Then representation of processes on pH diagram. So how to represent on a pH diagram? Now we have pH charts with us. We saw in the previous slides, that is pH chart for ammonia, carbon dioxide, Freon 12, Freon 22 we have seen. So how to represent the process, that is refrigeration cycle or state points on those charts? See, now first case, if the problem statement is related to wet compression, so we have solved one numerical on that. If the problem statement involves details regarding the compression is wet compression, so we can mark state point 1 in the wet region only, then state 2 also is in the wet region, then state 3 on saturated liquid line, then state 4 it's isenthalpic process we can represent. This is the way we have to represent the state points if compression is wet compression inside the compressor. Wet compression means inlet is also wet refrigerant and outlet of the compressor is also wet refrigerant. Such compression is called as wet compression. Now if there is a dry compression inside the compressor, means at the inlet it may be wet refrigerant, but at outlet compulsorily it has to be dry saturated refrigerant. That is state 2 has to be marked on the saturated vapor line. This is dry saturated vapor line. Then state 3, it becomes saturated liquid after condensation. 3 to 4, as explanation remains same. So this is how we represent dry compression process on a pH chart. Then again superheated compression, if the outlet at the outlet of the compressor, if refrigerant is a superheated vapor, so it is point 2 is to be marked on the superheated region. Then again we have one more case, that is vapor is dry at the inlet of the compressor, at the suction point of the compressor or inlet of the compressor, the refrigerant vapor is dry saturated. Dry saturated means state 1 is to be marked on the saturated vapor line. Then if inlet is dry to the compressor, outlet will be certainly superheated, so state 2 is marked in the superheated vapor zone. Then again after that we have one more case, that is vapor is superheated at the inlet of the compressor. This case also we have discussed in our previous videos. So here inlet, that is state 1 itself is in a superheated vapor region, and state 2 must be in again superheated region only. So rest condensation, after condensation state 3 is saturated liquid, 3 to 4 is isenthalpic process. Now coming to the next case, that is vapor is superheated at the inlet of the compressor and it is also undercooled after condenser. So that is the case here. This is vapor dome we have, and again state 1 is superheated, state 2 is also superheated. 2 to first 3 it is condensation, 3 to 3 dash it is undercooling process here. Then 3 to 4 is isenthalpic process. So this is how we are supposed to fix the state points on easily available pH charts. Now let's look into one numerical, V2 numerical, which is solved for our understanding. That is obtaining the COP from using pH charts. Now here we have the problem statement. First let's read the problem statement and understand the given data. Here we have a food storage purpose refrigerator is available, or you can say refrigeration plant, whose capacity is 10.5 tons of refrigeration. Means the refrigerator capacity is 10.5 tons of refrigeration. Then it is required at an evaporation temperature. It is operated at evaporation temperature of minus 12 degrees Celsius. That is, evaporator temperature is minus 12 degrees Celsius and condenser temperature is 27 degrees Celsius. Then again the refrigerant is ammonia. So which refrigerant he has used in this refrigerator? Ammonia is used. Means we have to use pH chart related to ammonia, that we have already seen. And it is subcooled. See here, it is subcooled by 6 degrees Celsius. Undercooling, subcooling concept we have already discussed. So he has mentioned that there is a subcooling in this refrigerator, and it gets subcooled by 6 degrees Celsius. Means condenser outlet temperature is 27 degrees Celsius, and 27 minus 6, that is 21 degrees Celsius is T3 dash, that is after subcooling. Then here we have the vapor is 0.95 dry, 95% dry at it as it leaves the evaporator. Means it is not dry saturated at the inlet of the compressor. State 1 is marked in the wet region. The compression is adiabatic, and adiabatic he says. The compression process is completely adiabatic, that is reversible reversible adiabatic process, that is isentropic process. Using pH chart, calculate, that is first one we need to calculate the condition of vapor at the outlet of compressor. Condition of vapor, whether it is superheated or saturated, we have to say. If it is superheated, so by how much degree of superheat it has been superheated, we have to calculate. Then again condition of vapor at the entrance to the evaporator. At inlet of evaporator, that is state 4, what is the condition? State 4 is in wet region, so how much is the dryness fraction at state 4 we have to decide. Then again COP for this refrigerator we have to decide. Then again power required in kilowatt we have to calculate, neglecting the throttling and clearancing effect. So it is a 10 marks problem from V2 question paper. So we need to solve this problem. So for this problem we need to draw TS diagram and pH chart. First by considering the conditions mentioned in the problem statement. What is the condition? It is a VCR cycle with subcooling is there, that is undercooling is there, and we know from the theory already that is for subcooling process or undercooling process we can draw TS diagram as shown in the screen. So this is the state 1, so wherein x1 is equal to 0.95, that is 0.95, it is wet. So 1 is mentioned in the wet region. So from 1 it gets superheated, we assume it is T2, and T2 to T2 dash it gets desuperheated, then enters the condenser at 27 degrees Celsius, rejects its heat energy and comes out as at the same temperature 27 degrees Celsius. T3 is 27 degrees Celsius only. Then from 27 degrees Celsius it undergoes undercooling process, that is subcooling process. This is called as subcooling. Subcooling by how many degrees Celsius? By 6 degrees Celsius he has told. That is 27 minus 6 is 21 degrees Celsius. Then T3 dash value is 21 degrees Celsius here. That is T3 dash is equal to 21 degrees Celsius. So now again here as usual from 3 dash to 4 it is isenthalpic process. So 4 to 1 evaporation process. Now here we can represent pH chart for the subcooling process or undercooling process. Here the state 1 is in wet region, 1 to 2 it is isentropic process. So along constant entropy line we have to move, that is S is equal to constant here. This is state 2 in the superheated region we have shown. Then again 2 to 3 it is condensation process, 3 to 3 dash is undercooling process, 3 dash is in subcooled region, and 3 dash to 4 is isenthalpic process. Now we have the ready-made chart available for the ammonia refrigerant. On that chart we have to represent these points, that is state 1, state 2, state 3, 3 dash, then 4 in the same method that we discussed, and then we will obtain the enthalpy values. At point 1 I will get H1, here I will get H2, then H3 dash and H4 can be obtained on the x-axis. Now let us see how we will obtain all these points on the chart and we will solve this problem. Now for given data we will see now. He has given refrigerator capacity as 10.5 tons of refrigeration that we have written. Then again evaporator temperature is minus 12 degrees Celsius and condenser temperature is 27 degrees Celsius. Then x1, that is dryness fraction, is 0.95 at the inlet of the compressor. Then we have to mark all these points on this chart, ammonia chart. See at x1 equal to 0.95, at x1 is equal to, that is dryness fraction 0.95 and minus 12 degrees Celsius evaporator temperature is available. First on this chart, that is ammonia chart, we will identify minus 12 degrees Celsius line. Minus 12 degrees Celsius line this is minus 10 degrees Celsius line. We have minus 10 degrees Celsius temperature line. This is minus 10 degrees Celsius constant temperature line. Then I have to come 2 degrees Celsius down, that is this is minus 10 and this is minus 20. In between that I have chosen this as a minus 12 degrees Celsius line. And again we have the dryness fraction lines in this wet region. We have dryness fraction lines. These are the constant dryness friction lines. Here x is equal to 0.80, this is x equal to 0.85, then here I have 0.95. So wherever this minus 12 degrees Celsius and 0.95 constant, x1 equal to 0.95 both intersects, I can mark this as state 1. I can mark this as a state 1. Now if I drop a vertical downward, or even you can draw upward also like this, so wherein we have enthalpy values available. Now we have the enthalpy value at H1 as 1300 kilojoule per kg. So you can zoom and observe here. This is around 13, 10, 20, 30. It is 1300 to 1400. It is increasing. So depending upon its position, we have the value 1360 kilojoule per kg. Now thus I am able to obtain H1 value as 1360 kilojoule per kg. Hope you understood the procedure. So first on the pH chart, I have identified minus 12 degree Celsius line. Then I have identified x1 equal to 0.95 dryness fraction line, constant dryness fraction line. Wherever both had intersected, I had marked this as a state point 1. Then I moved downward. I got H1 value. Now here on this chart, let's go ahead for the next point. That is at the intersection of constant entropy line from state point 1 and condenser temperature line. So what is condenser temperature line? We'll see now. See 1 to 2 process. Now let's our target is to mark state point 2 on this chart. For marking state point 2 on this chart, state point 2 is an intersection of constant entropy line, because 1 to 2 process is a constant entropy process or isentropic process. So therefore from state point 1 is here. From state point 1 I will move along constant entropy lines. These are all constant entropy lines. I will choose any one constant entropy line which intersects with state point 1. So now here now from the point 1 I am moving along a constant entropy line and I drawn it. Then my job is to again identify a constant temperature line of condenser temperature. So what is the condenser temperature? Condenser temperature in the problem statement is 27 degrees Celsius. Now on this chart we have 30 degrees Celsius line here. This is 30 degrees Celsius line. And this is 20 degrees Celsius line. Means 20 to 30 I am moving in this direction, or here 20 to 30 I have to move in this direction. Here I have 30 degrees Celsius line. Just below that I am considering this as a 27 degrees Celsius line. Constant temperature line I have extended it. So then wherever both lines intersects, what I did here, I am repeating. From point 1 I moved along the constant entropy line. I am sorry, why I am moving along constant entropy line? Because 1 to 2 is isentropic process, that is constant entropy process. So then again I drawn a constant temperature line of 27 degrees Celsius. Why 27 degrees Celsius only? Because it is condenser temperature. So in wet region I identified 27 degrees Celsius line. Then I moved wherever both have intersected. So this point of intersection I have marked this as a state point 2. From this point 2, if I move to x-axis, I will get enthalpy at state point 2. So now hope you have understood how to mark state point 2 on this pH chart. Now again we have the state point 1 now with us, then again state point 2. So state point 2, from state point 2 if I drop a vertical line downward, or you can also draw upward, I will be able to get H2 value as 1561.5 kilojoule per kg. So here it is shown in the next slide, that is 1561.5 kilojoule per kg. From this point we have drawn it. Then after fixing state point 2 on the chart, our job is to fix the state point 3 dash on the same chart. So now we have the already constant temperature line of 27 degrees Celsius. Wherever this intersect with the saturated liquid line, I can mark that as a point 3. Just observe here. So I have a condenser temperature line of 27 degrees Celsius. Now I am extending it till it cuts saturated liquid line. So wherever it cuts, it is marked as state point 3. So because in undercooling process pH chart we have already discussed, so that is state point 3. From this state point 3 it enters undercooler, then again it is cooled in the undercooler till 3 dash. So that is here we can show that same temperature line I will extend till undercooling temperature. So what is the undercooling temperature? The temperature after undercooler is 21 degrees Celsius. That is it is undercooled by 6 degrees Celsius. T3 is 27 minus 6 degrees Celsius. T3 dash is at 21 degrees Celsius. Now I will extend this line till 21 degrees Celsius. So obtaining 21 degrees Celsius. How to obtain 21 degrees Celsius on this pH chart? Now we have 20 degrees Celsius here. Then again we have 30 degrees Celsius. I will just slightly move in the rightward direction to get 21 degrees Celsius line. So wherein I have 21 degrees Celsius line, so I will drop a vertical line downward from 21 degrees Celsius line. So wherever this 21 degrees Celsius line, that is 21 degrees Celsius line, and again 27 degrees Celsius line, that is condenser temperature line, both intersects, that can be marked as a state point 3 dash, that is temperature after undercooling. So here we obtained thus the point 3 dash on the pH chart, point 3 dash on the pH chart. Now after obtaining point 3 dash on this chart, we will again draw a vertical line upward, because enthalpy values are near here only. Even we can drop a vertical line downward also. Same values are available in the downward direction here, same. Then if I zoom or and observe, here I have 200 kilojoule per kg, I have 300 kilojoule per kg, this is 250. Then again if I read exactly on this point, I have H3 dash as 280 kilojoule per kg. Now after obtaining H3 dash, I will note it down, that is 280.76 kilojoule per kg, but which is also equal to H4, because 3 dash to 4 is a throttling process, that is isenthalpic process. So for that reason H3 dash is equal to H4, that is enthalpy at state point 4 is also obtained. Then again wherever the vertical line from the 3 double dash and evaporator temperature minus 12 degrees Celsius line, both intersects, we can mark this as a state point 4. Then thus we obtained H4 also. Once we have obtained, then I will calculate or I will obtain the temperature of the refrigerant at state point 2. So how to obtain the temperature at state point 2? So we have the constant temperature lines available on this pH chart. See, we have constant temperature lines. This is 40 degrees Celsius line. Here I'll mark for you. This is 40 degrees Celsius line, which is moving downward like this. Similarly, the next line must be 50 degrees Celsius line. This is 50 degrees Celsius line. Next line must be 60 degrees Celsius line. Next to that must be 70 degrees Celsius line. So as I am moving in this direction, temperature is increasing. So now exactly at point 2, what is the temperature? So temperature is 68 degrees Celsius. It is 68 degree Celsius. That is superheat temperature. T2 is 68 degrees Celsius at state point 2. So from this procedure, so I can write T superheat temperature, that is T2 is equal to 68 degrees Celsius. Now after this we have the condition of vapor at the outlet of compressor. He has asked us in the problem statement, what is the condition of vapor at the outlet of compressor? Condition means how it is superheated. We are sure that now here it is since state 2 is in superheated vapor zone, beyond dry saturated vapor line it is superheated vapor zone. So therefore state 2 is superheated. By how much degree it has been superheated? So that is the condition of this superheat vapor at the outlet of the compressor. Now here it is superheated from between 68 degrees Celsius and what is the condenser temperature? Condenser temperature is 27 degrees Celsius. Means I need to refer TS diagram for more clarity for explanation of this. So on TS diagram we know that this is the TS diagram. Here we have T2, then T2 dash it is. T2 dash it is. The degree of superheat is T2 minus T2 dash it is. Cp into T2 minus T2 dash. That is T2 dash is 27 degrees Celsius here. Then again T2 is 68 degrees Celsius. The difference between both is degree of superheat. So hence 68 minus 27 is 41 degrees Celsius. Means the condition of vapor at the outlet of the compressor is it is superheated by 41 degrees Celsius. Then again we have the condition at state 4, that is at the inlet of evaporator. What is the condition? Now we have understood how to mark state 4 on this pH chart already. So this is the state point 4. Just we have to observe what are the dryness fraction lines available nearby to state 4. This is state 1 constant dryness fraction line. This is another constant dryness fraction line. We have the constant dryness fraction line of 0.10 here, and this is 0.14. In between them we have state point 4. So we can approximate the distance between these two lines and we can write the constant dryness fraction at state point 4 as 0.123. Then here this is the condition of steam at inlet of evaporator or exit of the throttle valve. So we obtained all the values, that is H1, H2, H4 as we discussed, and now we have to calculate the COP for this refrigerator. So the H1 value obtained was 1360, then again H4 we obtained as 280.76, H2 1561.5 we had obtained, then thus we are able to calculate COP as 5.35. Then power required to dry this compressor is power equal to P is equal to mass flow rate of refrigerant into H2 minus H1. We need mass flow rate of refrigerant, where mass flow rate of refrigerant is calculated always by refrigeration capacity or total refrigeration effect divided by refrigeration effect per kg, that is H1 minus H4. So therefore 10.5 1 TOR I am replacing it by 3.516 kilowatt divided by H1 minus H4. I have substituted the values that we had, and thus we are able to calculate mass flow rate of refrigerant. Now the same mass flow rate of refrigerant H1 H2 I will substitute in this formula, and I will rewrite power is equal to finally I am able to calculate power as 6.89 kilowatt. So this is the way we are supposed to solve this problem. So I thank you for watching. What all we did in this, hope you will pause the video wherever necessary and follow the instructions to mark all these points. So final, if I saw the final, if we see the final image here, the cycle is marked, that is the refrigeration cycle, state point 1, then state point 2 in the superheated region, then state point 3 dash in the undercooling, then state point 4, and complete cycle is marked on this pH chart. So we must learn how to mark fix the state points according to given problem statements. Then we need to obtain the enthalpy values from the pH chart. That should be the learning outcome of this video. Any refrigerant can be given in the problem statement. So I have shown you 4 charts in the beginning of this video. Please sit with patience and solve this problem. Then thank you. For any clarifications you can please contact me. Thank you for watching.